All right, everybody. Today I've got the guy who you have to be the most prolific ripper of UFC products on the internet. It's absolutely insane. This is Glenn, the man from the YouTube channel UFC Breaks. What's up, Glenn? Thanks for coming on today, man. I'm excited to talk with you.
Yeah, Amen. Thanks for having me. Thank you for the crazy intro. And I don't know. Probably there's someone who's opened more cards than we have, but yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
I don't know if anybody has ever opened an entire case of royalty or an entire case of blasters on for UFC anyway. So it's pretty sick, man, what you're doing. And that was kind of the first topic that I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, you are ripping an insane amount of products. I mean, it's like I every now and then I'll see a thumbnail and I'm like, this guy's doing what? And we're talking cases of Midnight, cases of Chrome, cases of royalty. So my first question is like, I mean, obviously it's fun ripping products, but like, why are you ripping products? What's the vision of the channel, and what do you do with all the cards that you rip?
Okay. So I'll start off the beginning. So, uh, why do we do it? I guess. So I thought it was fun. And this all started like about 2 years ago when I first started like putting videos on YouTube. And I was making videos and I didn't know what I was doing at all. Like I didn't never watched YouTube before. I like literally didn't know anything. And so I opened up like 2 boxes of Chronicles 2021 or something. And I was like, hey guys, check it out. And I had like music playing illegally on the side and like I got a strike and it was a mess. There was no face camera or anything. So I just kind of was like, okay, I kept going and it slowly got better and I just slowly figured out like, oh, like people want to see a human, oh, people want a clear camera footage, like, oh, they want audio that's like actually listenable. So I just incrementally got better, like step by step. And what happened was is I started doing like one blaster or 2 blasters and I was like, let's see what's in here, and I was all excited, I wanted to see what's in there, and I'd get like 2 orange parallels or something. I was like, well, that's cool, but like what's in like 10? And so I started doing more and more and more, and it started with blasters. And so I was like, well, what's inside a case? And then I would do a case, and then I do 2 cases. And on like Christmas the first year, I opened 100 boxes. And what I found was I started to get like into this chase where I wasn't really focused on the price of the product. I was thinking more like, what's actually in a full case of blasters? Like, what are the odds? And I made a video on it actually that's pretty good, that has all my personal stats for every case of blasters ever made from like 2021 forward. And it's like, hey, 22 Prism is awful. Don't open that. Don't even buy them because there's a couple silver cards, a couple green cards, and there's one green Pulsar Prism to 25 in the whole case. And you might get one auto, but God only knows who it is. So it's like your like dollars spent on that blaster is terrible, because your chance to get the hit is 1 in 20 boxes and maybe an auto. So maybe you have a 1 in 10 box chance of getting an auto that you probably aren't super interested in, or a prism, a green pulsar to 25. And the first one I got out of 2021 is the same problem in 21 too. Was a Jair Rosenstrike green pulsar to 25. I opened like $1,000 case and
Yeah,
got Jair Rosenstrike to 25, and I was like, this is awful.
yeah.
Like this
So
is terrible.
I guess like, I mean, we know it's gonna be awful though, Glenn. We know it's gonna be terrible almost always. So I guess like, I mean, it's obviously fun, and if you have the, the funds to rip it, but like, dude, I mean, it's gonna be a loss like almost always, right? Or is it not? I mean, maybe you're the perfect person to speak on it. Have you had like big rips, big cases where you've come out on
Yeah.
top, and kind of tell us, the ups and downs of ripping at such a big scale like that?
So the thing is everyone says that, and everyone says, "Oh, it's terrible. Don't rip. Just buy singles and stuff." And like largely in a smaller format, that's probably true. Like if you're gonna spend $100 a month, I would say buy singles that you want on eBay, not packs or blasters or whatever. Um, but there's a direct correlation between the cost of the product in in terms of like what it costs to buy 1 pack or 1 blaster or 1 hobby box or 1 case, and what you're going to get out on the other side. So what I found is like 22 Prism is like a great example. If I said, hey, you got $100, let's say they're $20 a box, buy 5 boxes. You're going to walk away with 5 silvers, and you're going to be like, that sucked. That wasn't good at all. Or you could buy, say, like theoretically, like the cheapest hobby box out there for like $100. Like theoretically, you get a gold label or something on sale. You get that. Okay, you got like a guaranteed autograph, and you get something else better. And then when you get into the higher end product like royalty, it's like, okay, we're guaranteeing 4 autographs and memorabilia, and everything's numbered under 25. So like I think they correlate the price pretty well. But when you start buying full cases, you're limiting your loss factor. So even with the case of blasters to some extent, but really hobby boxes, if you buy one hobby box, there's a really good chance, like especially Chronicles or something, it's a really good chance you're going to get your 2 autographs. You're not going to love them, and you're going to get like 6 parallels that are all kind of meh. But if you buy the whole case of Chronicles and open it, there's a really good chance that you're going to get something big in there, like a gold 10 autograph or like
Right.
something significant. And so what I found was when you're buying the full case of hobby, it's limiting the floor. So like, let's say I tell people roughly it's between 75% and 125% is what I'll get back on a full case of hobby. So sometimes I lose a little, sometimes I make a little. And once in a while, you have like the moonshot where you get
Yeah.
something that's, oh, it's a 5,000, a 10,000. And that can help propel you too.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because they base a lot of these cards, the odds from the odds sheets are based around one case, right? So we have, specific case hits that are one. You have to rip one case in order to hit this, and there's probably some variance there, over or under on that. But yeah,
Sure.
I mean, for sure, whenever you're opening, an entire sealed case, the odds are you could potentially get that one case hit. I guess my thought is like you don't know who that fighter is going to be. You don't know what the case hit is going to be. And like if you're spending $4,000, like you could buy Grail cards for $4,000. So I mean, I definitely hear you. And I mean, it probably is the most efficient way to rip, right? Like ripping is always a gamble, is always a chance factor. There's always odds associated with it. So yeah, I mean, I think you kind of swayed me. Like if I had the funds, would I rather buy one hobby box? And then you have if there's 8 in a case or whatever, you have a 1 in 8 chance to get that case hit, or
Right.
do you have the basically 75 to 125% chance to hit that specific case hit or even be profitable? I think I agree. I think I agree with you, man. But I disagree in the in the fact that if you want to build a badass collection, like just go go get that card you
Yeah.
want, man,
Yeah.
for that much money. But I completely understand as a guy that rips on the channel, like a big part of the fun is seeing what's in there. It's the hunt, it's the suspense, it's the viewing experience for the viewer. So I love what you're doing, man, and thank you for doing it also because we don't really have somebody in our space that is ripping on that scale, and most, NBA people have it, NFL has it. So I appreciate you for doing that for the community and kind of showing us the real deal, what's in these cases.
Well, that's to be honest, a lot of it for me was kind of like I was just interested to see like how Tops's brain works and like how they're putting these things together and how they're selling them. And I naturally kept finding myself like falling back into if you buy the whole case of hobby, especially, it's just going to work out better. And I think that there's even some uh some math that goes into it. Like I would be shocked if Tops doesn't have like here's our S tier, here's our A tier, here's our B tier, and we expect a hobby case to be of such and such quality.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
there's because I've never opened one where it was just all like Nina Nunez autos. It's
Right.
like there's always like something solid in the case. So I think
Even
that
the
there's a floor.
even the boxes, man. I feel like even the boxes they do that within each case, which logistically that has to be very tough for them. But often you'll see with these rips like you'll get like a really good auto or like a low parallel auto. Maybe it's not of the fighter you want, but like they tend to do a good job of putting like the big name fighters or just a low numbered parallel to kind of like middle out the boxes, I guess. So I think
Yeah.
you're right with them kind of like weighing it.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of math that goes into it, like as far as the quality, because and that leads into why I think the cases are better, and also getting case hits, and usually case hits are big names, one way or the other. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it's been fun, and I think I've figured out quite a bit about it, and also getting deeper into the card industry is like just a pit of vipers. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I've made some friends, and I've met a lot of people. But there's the big problem I found with this whole card thing is, and one of the reasons why I do all of this like for free mostly, there's only like two ways to make money on cards. Either they appreciate naturally over time, and somebody like you buy a rookie card for $10, and the guy goes to the Hall of Fame or the lady goes to the Hall of Fame, and they do something amazing, and then it's worth 100 later. And like in NBA and NFL, it's higher numbers. Or you have to buy them for less and sell them for more, and that's what 90% of people do. 90% of people like card shows and stuff, they go, I've walked up to guys with like friends who have baseball cards and go, hey, I'm looking to sell, these 20 cards or whatever. And the guy goes, I'll give you a 60% of comps. And that's the best I can do. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so you're just like kind of like undercutting somebody so
Right.
that you can go make a profit on it. So it's not like a great business. I know a lot of these guys have businesses. I have an LLC for what I do just for like tax purposes.
Right.
Because when you have like cash coming in from eBay, it's not actually profit. It's like I also bought a product that you flip. But I think it's super dicey, and that's why a lot of what I did was I was like, we're gonna do free giveaways. We're gonna just open stuff on here. I list everything on eBay now for 99 cents. So if you're interested, everything I sell starts at 99 cents and it just goes. There's no not a retainer, but whatever reserve.
Yeah.
There's no reserve. It's like I'm just trying to make it like more of a pure thing. And the bigger the channel gets, the easier it gets too, because I've got YouTube monetization and things like that. So it helps. And then it's like, okay, like let's do a bigger giveaway this month, and let's travel somewhere and go open a case with somebody or whatever. So like I'm just trying to do it the right way. Like I think it's important when I'm out, I give out blasters and stuff to just like random kids at the card store, and you don't really ever see that stuff on the channel, but that's what I'm trying to do. Is because I think it's like it can be a great industry and a great hobby, and it can even be a great investment, but it can also just be like filth. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to avoid
Yeah.
that whole side of it and try and like clean it up with my channel.
Right. Well, the filth associated with it is the money making aspect, right? Like it's the resellers price gouging. We've seen that, with Knockout and with Finest, upcharging, 115, 120% of what the original markup was. It's
Yeah,
like you're saying, it's people being scummy and offering, like cheating people on deals, and not necessarily cheating in the 60% aspect, but like people getting fished and their cards stolen and people not
yeah, it happens
paying,
all the
and
time.
dude, and like that. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree. There's a lot of weirdness within this, and to me, it's almost directly associated with money, and it's correlated with the value behind these cards, and that's kind of what's driving the weirdness of it. Because when you talk to collectors, and you talk to people that love the sport, and like to collect, there's none of that, right? There's none of that. It's all just people having a good time, talking about the sports that they love, talking about the cards and the art, and having a good time. I definitely appreciate what you're doing. Being a man of the people, injecting some positivity into the space. And I want to talk to you, man, about some of your collections, some of the big cards that you've hit. So can you kind of tell me, like, and obviously this is really hard to do. I ask these people these questions, and it's like very hard to narrow down what your favorite cards are, like your best hits. But like, can you tell me some of the best hits that you've had whenever you're opening this much product?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one is the Alex Pereira 101 from Midnight this year. That was like on Tops's social media for a week, and
Yeah, I
I think
saw
it
that,
got
dude.
like, did you see it on there?
It was sick. Yeah, it was sick.
I think it got like overall it got like 2 million views or something between like TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So I mean that was cool. I tried reaching out to Tops directly, and also Dana White had it on his feed on Instagram, and I was
Oh,
like, "Hey, bro,
nice.
like let's open some cards." No luck there, but I'll keep trying. The next big 101 I get, I'll try again.
They're hard to get a hold of, man. These people in the UFC space just don't want to get back to you about anything.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't talk to him that often, to be honest. I go to a couple fights a year and that, but this was a big one. This was a big card, for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of hype around it. The family that got the debut version got this one again, so
Nice.
they seemed real happy to have it, and I thought it was cool, man. It was a cool moment to open something like that, and I think dollar wise, that's probably one of the higher end ones, but I mean, there's some really cool cards that we opened also. Like, I can send you a photo later, but there's a Khabib Kaboom we opened.
Before we go past that,
Yeah.
if you're okay with sharing, what did this sell for? Did you guys do it through eBay? Was it a personal deal to deal? If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But I'm always interested in that type of stuff.
No, it's so what happened was the what happened? I opened it and then I started getting messages. Like people were asking me about it. And the guy who he bought the one a year ago, he reached out to me, I think on Instagram, and so I started talking to him. And long story short, we sold it for 14,000,
Okay,
and
nice.
so it was less than the debut. But I actually he messaged me. He goes, he's like, yeah, I don't think it's this one's worth 30,000 like the debut one. And I go, yeah, I agree. I don't think it is either. And so I said, here's what I think. And so I pulled up I was trying to be fair, I pulled up a Khabib. God, I don't remember what it was, but it was a Khabib like 101 debut edition. I think maybe Prism or something. So it was kind of comparable. And that card sold for like 28,000.
Yeah.
And then I pulled up the following year, like the 22 Prism, and that one sold for like 15. It was, or whatever it was. It was like basically like half. And I was like, I think this is the formula we should follow
Yep.
so that it's fair. And so we basically just chatted for a little bit, and that was it.
I love that. If you were listening to that, go back a minute and listen to exactly what Glenn explained when trying to do comps. This is perfect. And this is the, obviously not on this scale, right? But this is the advice that I give to people is like, if there's not a comp for this card, and there's not, it's a 101, right? Go to previous years and use, a lot of times there may not be a previous year. Maybe it's a fighter that doesn't have cards. It's a rookie or whatever. But go to big fighters that match the fighter in popularity or in like sales volume. So Habib and Alex Potant, two very, very high profile fighters. That is a perfect way to do comps and a perfect way to help you get a price point, whether you're buying or you're selling and there's no comps already set. So I love that, man. And yes, go back 2 minutes and listen to what Glenn just explained, because that's really good advice.
Yeah, so that was one of them. We also we pulled up the Khabib Kaboom was like a personal triumph for me. That was actually out of my friend Kamatoro. He bought a bunch of Chronicles boxes for our 2K
Was that
subscriber stream.
2022 Kaboom or 2023?
23, I think.
Okay.
And so I opened like 10 boxes during the 2000 subscriber stream,
Yeah.
and I think it was the last one or the second to last one, and it was in there, and I was just like, oh my god, like, because if I don't know if you opened a lot of the Chronicles 2023,
Nope.
the blasters.
No, I didn't open it. I don't think, maybe one or zero of those.
Okay, so the 2023 Chronicles blasters, if you can still get them for like 20 bucks, they're worth it. They have some of the like, the most hits, and also 101 upside and all kinds of stuff in there. Like they're crazy how good they can be. And they also on that box say that you can get a kaboom in the blaster. I've opened close to 10 cases now,
You're like,
never
can it
got a
be done?
kaboom. I don't think it's possible. I think that it's actually a typo because the 101, I bought the 101 Khabib from a guy who pulled it out of the Chronicles blaster. It looks like a kaboom. It has the kaboom design in the background.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's some kind of a typo because, as far as I can tell, no one's ever pulled a kaboom out of those. But we hunted looking for them for like a year,
Yeah.
and it was relatively cheap. And we're getting the cards numbered to 5 to 10 autos, like a lot of really interesting stuff, and it was fun. It was a good price. It was fun, but I don't think they exist. So then when we had the hobby though, on like box number 10, it's sitting right there. And I was like, oh my God, it's
Nice.
sitting, I got it over here right now.
Yeah,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, that was a cool one. And then in that same time period, I got the Conor McGregor Firestorm. That
Pull that
that
up.
card is very difficult to pull. And I looked on eBay not that long ago. There was only like, I think there might have been one other one
Yeah,
for sale.
yeah, they're tough.
But that's
And
out of select.
yeah, we were talking about this card briefly before we got on, and this was one of my biggest gripes with Panini is not releasing the odds for these inserts, right? And like we can speculate on what the population is and look at pop reports and like gauge the market based on eBay listings and all that, but like to me, a card like this is very, very difficult to comp and very difficult to value because it's like, is there only 15 of these manufactured? And if so, that's way different than if there's 75 or 100.
There's not
So
75. There's no way.
Right, but like you can say that we have no idea. We're speculating. We
Well,
don't have data or
yeah,
evidence.
my
But
anecdotal evidence is I opened close to 10 cases of 2023 Select Blasters over a period of time. I got one Firestorm out of the 10. And it might have been 8 or 9 or 11. I don't know
how many
exactly, but I got
blasters?
one.
But how many cases did they produce? Do we have that data? Because you could with 10. That's a good sample size. 10 cases. If we have the total amount of manufactured blaster cases, we might be able to figure out the exact
The only way you could
rare
figure it
amount of
out
that.
is if there's a guaranteed serial number. Like if there's a card to 99 that's guaranteed, like in X number of boxes,
Right.
you can reverse engineer it and go,
Mhm.
okay, 100 fighter list, 99 cards, X number of boxes cases.
Which
But
I guess this is kind of fun though, because it's like it kind of adds to the mystery and mystique of it with Panini and them not releasing the odds sheets. But at the same time, to me, it's kind of frustrating. Did you open what was it 20? Was it 23 Don Russ, the past and present lenticular? Did
yeah,
you ever,
yeah.
dude? Those are, and I almost don't want to say this because I want to get one eventually, but those are so sick, and they have to be extremely rare as well. Were you able to hit one of those? What's your thoughts
I
on the
got
print
one.
run for
Yeah.
that?
So I didn't, those come out of the 2023 Donruss hobby boxes. And I didn't open like a ton of those. I wasn't quite at the like full blown, like, let's go crazy and open cases all the time. But I was opening like 4 or 5 boxes at a time. And I got one. I got a Charles Oliveira past and present. And
Nice.
it was part of a giveaway. So there was a guy in the chat who won that card. And he told me he took it to a card show like the next week after he got it, and he was showing it to people, and they're like, "I've never seen anything like this. Like, this is crazy."
Yeah, those are
So
so cool. I wish
I
they
don't
did
know
more
how rare it
lenticular
is, but
designs.
yeah, oh, it's super cool. It's so like if you don't know what it is, if you're holding the card, like you hold the card. Where's my camera? And like you turn it right, and like as you turn it, it goes from like young Charles to old
Hmm.
Charles. It was really cool. It's really really cool. I think one of the cooler looking things I've seen out of a pack, like because when you open it out of the pack, you're like, what am I looking at right now? Like this, it doesn't look like a card. It's like
Yeah,
something
it was
else.
like half. He had like half old man, half half young
Yeah,
Charles. You're like, wait,
it
what
was
is
really
this?
good. It was really good.
Yeah,
But
those are sick,
what are
man.
those? Like, how many of those got made? I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's the mystique, the mystery behind it.
A lot of people say they're like less than 20 for those super short prints.
I could definitely see it on that because that's one that I've been following closely for a while, looking at price, and they're very expensive, rightly so, right? Because we're speculating that there's a really low print run on those. But yeah, man, that is a really nice card, and that was one that I was surprised didn't get more love in the space. Like maybe it's because they're so hard to come by, but I feel like I
I
have
don't
not
think
seen
people
many
know
people
they
talk about
exist.
those.
I don't think anyone knows they exist.
Yeah,
Because 23 Don Russ, I remember that came out, and then there was something came out like right after. It might have been Chronicles, but I remember 23 Don Russ was like a fast turnaround time. Like
mm,
I was on Whatnot at the time doing my like one of two case breaks I ever did on there, and
yeah.
that was one of them. And then I remember it was like shortly after it was like on to the next thing.
Oh, I forgot to ask you this about that big 101 Poton sale. So I've always kind of had this question, and I'm happy I get to ask it to you finally. Okay, so you have this card, right? It's a monster sale, $14,000 sale. So for shipping, was it through eBay or was it directly with the person?
It was direct.
Okay, so I'm glad because I was like, dude, the math on that would have been like 1800 dollars just given to eBay. So that's sick. The shipping. What do you do with shipping? What do you do with insurance on that? Like how does that work and how did you navigate that situation?
So so for the insurance, you got to insure it because somebody sends you 14 grand.
Right.
You're either going to have to give it back or you have either the card or the cash, one or the
Yep.
other. So I went to the UPS store and I just told them, I said it's worth 14,000. I need it insured, and it cost me like about $300 or so to have it insured and shipped next day air, to get it there. And so it was like, okay, you're eating a little bit of cash and shipping and stuff, but it's just like it's a necessity. Like you
You
just have to
got
do
it,
it.
dude. You gotta do that. Worst case scenario on that would be horrible, absolutely terrible if that thing went missing or something.
Yeah, well, UPS though they have like a high dollar basket in those trucks.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's like anything over like it might even be like $500 or 1,000. It gets put away. They have like a lockbox, like a separate area. There's all kinds of stuff they
Nice.
do, and so I feel like they track the stuff that's a little higher dollar closer because they don't want to have any accidents either.
Right.
Like I'm sure their insurance people are like, "Hey guys, we have a $20,000 envelope here. Like, make sure we sign for it, put it in the vault, like get it over there correctly."
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've always wondered about that because that's been, I mean, even with like, I'm not buying anything or selling anything near that price, but even like, four, $500,000 cards, I'm always like, dude, I do not, I really hope this doesn't go missing.
If it's like 100 or 200, I don't insure it. I just, if it, whatever, because you got to do the math. Like at some point, either like you're insuring or not. You just got to pick your line in the sand and be like, this is
Right.
it. Because on eBay, I've sold, I don't know how many cards, a bunch of cards. And I was like, if it's like 100, 200, I'm just going to skip it. If it's more than that, I'll put the insurance on. But yeah, if it's a real high dollar one, I think you just have to do it.
Nice. So we talked about, ripping, we talked about some big sales. What does kind of your collection look like right now? And what are a few cards that maybe you don't have that you'd like to add to your collection in the future?
So my collection, to be honest with you, is kind of getting out of control. Like, I really only buy Khabib cards, and I know that might not be the best, but in my mind, it's an undefeated. It's the only undefeated retired champion that exists. I enjoyed watching him fight. I enjoyed the send location to Conor McGregor. Like the Khabib and Conor era
Yeah.
was a classic era in the UFC, and I loved it. So that's my pick, and I said I'm just going to stick with it because if I get distracted and start buying Poetan cards and Pereira and Ankalaev and whatever, it's like next thing you know, it's like I'm gonna have to buy like another house and have like a
Right.
vault built in the
Yeah. Yeah.
basement. Like it's just not gonna work. So I said, okay, let's just take a break. We're gonna go PSA 10 or like raw if it's a rare card. But basically, I try to only buy PSA 10s so that they're already graded and done, and it saves time. And my goal is to, it's, I don't know that it'll ever happen, but I'm just trying to get every Khabib card ever made, which is difficult with the 101s.
And they keep making them too. So
Yeah,
that's
I
gonna
know.
be
They're
fun.
making less now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But so it's like a long-term thing, but I'm slowly making progress. I'm probably at like probably close to like 25% of them I've got now. And the majority in PSA 10s.
Dude, this is
So
gonna be
I
sick. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to if you ever 100% that, you're gonna have
I
the best Habib collection in the entire world. Like that would be so
it
cool.
I mean, it's got to be close already, but like, I don't know. There's certain cards will be difficult, like the rookie 101. The guy
Yeah.
who has it, I asked him, I was like, "How about I give you $100,000 for it?" And I got no answer. So
That's
I think
wild.
I was like, "We'll make it like the highest UFC sports
Yeah.
card sale of all time, or like 105 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you." And I get no answer. So I think somebody told me he wants 1 million for it. That seems
Woo.
like I don't like, I think that that could happen in 20 years, but
Right.
I think in other sports, for my cousin's real big in football, um, some of these cards and like footballs or whatever, they need to have a couple of sales on record to show the growth. I don't think it's going to go from 0 to 1 million overnight. I think
Right.
it's going to go from 0 to like 100 to
Yeah.
like
It'll
200 to
incrementally go
400.
up.
That's typically what happens in other like memorabilia in sports. So I don't know what's gonna, but like, will I ever get that one? I hope so, but I'm not gonna
Hey,
pay $1 million.
everybody watching. Cross your toes, cross your fingers, cross your tongue. Glenn's getting that thing, dude. It's gonna happen eventually.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, if he wants to sell it one day, I'm interested. But there's a bunch of them, and also there's like missing cards that people don't know where they are. Like there's all kinds of weird printing plates from like I don't know, like early 2012 to 2016 phase. Like where
Mhm.
are those at? I don't know. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I try to do like a good mix of like just buying PSA 10 graded cards that are like anywhere from 50 to 150 bucks, and I try to buy those regularly and just kind of fill up the coffers, and then I will sporadically buy like a PSA or a 101 here and there. I just bought a 101 2 days ago.
Yep, we got a 101 on the screen, man. We got this 22 select 2022 select Sparks Black Prism 101 Gem Mint 10 with a patch. Tell us about this one.
Dude, this is the coolest card on the planet. Um, so I bought this card raw from a dude in Australia, and I like in my I was still very amateur. This was years ago, and I just knew like patches and autographs were good. And I saw this black patch 101 on Facebook somewhere. This guy had it, and I was like, dude, it's awesome. I love it. I want it. And I thought that the 101s at the time I thought were a little more rare than they were. Like I thought people were hoarding them, but really a lot of people want to sell them. So I saw it and I was like, I'll take it. And he wanted like six, and I was like, I'll give you five for it. So I I wired this guy 5 grand. He ships this thing from God knows where in Australia, and like a week goes by and there's no update on the tracking. And like I message him, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he responds,
And this
is
is through
yeah.
Facebook Marketplace. What was this through?
No, it was I think I was on what's that big UFC group on Facebook? The
Oh, it was a fake. It
UFC
was a.
sports cards
Oh,
or
okay.
something.
So
It
it was
was like
a. I got you. I got you.
there's like a group where they do breaks and stuff, and he had it for sale. And I had asked the guy in charge of that Facebook page, I was like, do you know this guy? Is he okay? And they're like, yeah, he's fine. So anyways, like 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. There's no tracking, there's no shipping. And my wife asked me, she's like, did you just like get scammed out of 5 grand? And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't think so. And so like literally a month went by and I forgot about it. Like it's a month and a half, like 2 months is going on. And I go, where the hell is that thing? And I reach out again. He goes, yeah, man, it looks like it still says it's shipped. It's on its way. And I was like, I think I'm in trouble. So there's no recourse. Like I don't know what to do. And then I literally like I just was at the house and the mail came and there was a box, and I opened this box up and the card was sitting in it, like wrapped up. And I was like, oh my God, it's here. Like, so I kind of wrote it off. And, but then what was more insane was I love it. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, it is
But
a
then
nice
I
card.
took this card, the Black Prism with the lightning on it. Like, you don't see
Yeah.
that very often.
No, these
I
are
got
these
it
shine
graded.
really well too. This picture doesn't really do it justice, but the shine on these is insane.
This card graded a 10, which is even crazier
Mm.
because it shipped raw from Australia and God knows on a boat or something. But then
Aren't these
if you
thick
see that,
too?
it's a thick boy.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
impressive.
the middle there, that's super hard to grade because that part
Yeah.
right there, I have like gold and other parallels of it. They all have dings and nicks.
Mhm.
None of them are tens. Like, so it was just an insane situation.
I love it. Yeah, dude, your Habib collection is pretty sick. I've seen a couple of your mail days, and that's always a good time whenever you have some Habib coming in. Have you ever did like a top 10 cards video? Because that would be really sick. It sounds like you have some really higher end stuff.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, I made one that was like my $25,000 Khabib collection,
Mm.
and that was okay. It's updated now, but the hardest thing is honestly just getting the time to do all of it. Because in my head, I'm like, you should put out a video about like what the rarest cards are. And Knockout comes out tomorrow, or
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is when it airs, but
Yeah.
it comes out shortly. And I was like, yeah, it's a great idea. Go do that. And then like 3 days go by, and I'm like, I don't have time to do it. Like
Hey,
there's just no way.
I completely understand. Behind the scenes, I'm meeting with Glenn in the morning. Knockout is coming. I'm going to try and film that rip video, and I am talking with Damien tonight. So it is a bit. We're putting in the work for you guys. We hope that you guys are watching and appreciating the content we're putting out. Hit that subscribe button. Hit a like. Go over to Glenn's channel. Subscribe to him. Shout out to Main Event Cards. Go sub to Damien as well. Glenn, we got this too, and I know you were excited to talk about this. Tell me about these, man.
So the one on the left was the first card that I overpaid for, and it says 6K on the bottom. I didn't pay 6K, but I think I paid like 3,500.
Okay, this
And
I love these situations. Can you tell me through? And this is good advice for newer people. Everyone's gonna overpay a couple times. It's good to learn from it quickly, and then you don't do that in the future. So tell us, like, what are the mistakes that you made, and what did you learn from overpaying on this one?
so the big thing was Khabib cards are going to be more risky because he's one of the most desirable fighters and cards in the UFC sports card world. So even buying a cheap Khabib is going to be more expensive than a lot of other cards. So I kind of like dove into the deep end of the pool.
Hmm.
But my plan was I wanted a PSA 10 patch auto, like an RPA, which didn't really exist for Khabib. So this was brand new 2021 select. It's got the patch, two colors, which I thought was a plus. It's got the auto and it's numbered to 25. Also, it's the only card only card out of that series in a PSA 10. Every other one is a 9, an 8, a 7, whatever. So it's a pop one, and I was like, that's it. Like that's what I need. And so realistically, this card, I paid what it's like really worth in a perfect world.
Right.
If you're paying the premium at like 3.5x for the PSA 10 pop one. I probably could have gotten it cheaper though. I think I've seen some of these in like a 9 selling for closer to like 1,000. But if you say it's the pop 110, like in football and basketball,
Yeah.
there's a 3.5x multiple to get to that 10. Is this card rare enough to command that? Maybe not, but that's kind of like the math that I used to get there. So I was doing the right thing, but I was using a formula that might be more optimized for like a $50,000 football card, not like a more niche product in 2021 UFC. So that's kind of what happened. I mean, it is what it is. It's still the only pop 10 or pop one, so I
Yeah.
like that. And then right
That's
next to it
huge.
is the 2022 version. This is the same thing. It's the only Gem Mint 10 that exists for that card. So I have the back-to-back years, and I've been looking for the 2023. It's the last one they made. I haven't found a PSA 10 yet, but if anyone has one, I'd like to get it. So I've got the two Pop One Gem Mint 10, 21,
Nice.
22 select patch autos,
Yeah,
and
no,
they're both
they're pretty.
tie-dyed at
Yeah,
25.
two tone on this one too. You got the white and the black. These are really nice, man. And this is another card that looks great in person. Like these are really shiny.
Yeah, and that one, the 22, I bought at a card show in Chicago, and it was a guy who opened it in like a pack war or something, and he had his kids with him, and I paid him like $1,000 cash for that one. So I mean, I got the price obviously came down a little bit on the second one, but I thought it was fair. I mean, it's not the debut one; it's a
Yeah.
little bit different.
When did you buy the 2022? Do you remember what year it was?
Probably 2 years ago, 20,
Okay,
maybe
so
like in 23.
prices were still a little bit higher. They've kind of been trending down. We're still getting massive blips on the higher end cards, but I feel like
Yeah,
overall 22 and then beginning of 23 prices were still kind of had that COVID bump on, and everybody was paying a little bit more. But yeah, man, really really nice there. Let me see. There was one more this one that I wanted to talk to you about and kind of tell us the story behind this, and then also it was like if you're not subbed over at UFC Breaks, you need to, because this guy's doing tons of giveaways and stuff. So tell us about this one, Glenn.
yeah. Thank you for the little push there. The so this is it's a 101 from midnight 2024 24, and it was like the first year of midnight that came out, and this was actually a giveaway. So I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I think I had like, it was either like a member giveaway or some kind of a giveaway. And I had a bunch of boxes. And what I do, instead of doing like break style, I do what I call like a straight line break. So I basically just put everyone's name in a list, and it's like, okay, like Tommy's here and Jill's here and so and so, and we just go in order. So whatever the hit is goes to that person, whatever the next hit is goes to the next person, and it's like silver refractor, or like better than a silver. It's got to have like a serial number or an auto, like something good, and that way everybody gets something. And so I was going through it, and this was like the last thing I opened, and I remember I opened it up, and it's like, okay, cool, midnight. There's like everything pretty much has a serial number. There's like one base card. And so we are going through like, nice hit. Like, here's an auto. Congrats. Like, here's a card to 20. Congrats. And as I was doing it, I happened to look down and I saw just like the 101 in the bottom. I didn't even
Yeah.
see who it was. And I just started laughing, and I was like, oh man, like we're giving away a 101 tonight.
Yep. That's
So
crazy.
that's what I saw like out of the corner of my eye. And then we gave it away. And at the time, people were saying it's probably worth close to $1,000, and that was also before Whitaker got crushed a little bit here towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great card, great to give away a 101, and a lot of people in the chat, they didn't think it was real. They're like, "There's no way this dude's giving away a 101. Like, it's not happening." And
Yeah,
but I'm like,
nobody's that dumb to give away a 101 with Glenn's like, nope, I'm doing it.
I'll do it. I'm dumb enough. But that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to
No,
like
it's great.
change the hobby, and change the way this works, because I think giving away a 101 empowers somebody in a way that like they just got something they would never in their wildest dreams think was possible.
Yeah,
and it
and for a
costs
lot
them
of
nothing.
people, yeah, and for a lot of people, it's like we were talking about earlier. It's just the barrier to play is so high with some of these cards. People are priced out. Even international people, it's hard for them to get products, and now we have the crazy tariffs going on, where it's even more difficult for people to get their cards in general and products. So it's like, yeah, dude, what you're doing is really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, the international, especially that's like a missed opportunity on Panini and Top's part. I do international business like every day, morning, noon, and night. And the fact that they're not shipping like a container of cards to Europe and a container of cards to China and having like one distribution point
Right.
is a crazy oversight on their part.
Yeah, they need you to go over there and clean their operation up, dude. Because I have a lot of notes for you if you want to, let me in on this as well on things that they can improve to make it a better experience for us. Um, so we've talked about some of the crazy hits you've did. We've talked about some cool information on comping specific cards on your collection. I kind of want to pick your brain on products, right? Because me and you are always making videos about products. I'm kind of going over some of the education side and showing people stuff, and you're ripping a ton of product. So I want to pick your brain. Of the products that haven't came out yet, we have Finest, we have Stadium Club, we have Royalty. All looks like those are going to come out this year. Which one of those are you most excited about, and maybe just some tidbits on each one?
So, Finest 24, initially, I opened a case and I was like, this is incredible. And then I opened like five more cases and I was like, these are all average. So I don't know. I'm kind of like a little mixed feelings on Finest. Finest also has, after opening a lot of it, has a little bit of a Chronicles feel to it where like there's a lot of cards.
Yeah,
So there's
300
a
card
lot of
base set,
pros.
so they printed a ton of them.
Which it makes it harder to get hits, and you're going through a lot. So it's I hope they tighten it up a little bit. I know they got to have some mass market stuff, but I'd like it to be a little tighter. The royalty last year was, in my opinion, just a total disaster. Like
Yeah.
the boxes were listed on Topps' website for like 395, which
Mm-hmm.
say $400. I was like, I'll take a ton. Like I'm going to buy a bunch of these. There are these thick patch autos. They're low number. There's big
Yep.
hits. And then the morning of, I went to the local store and I go, hey, let me get a case of it. And I'm
Yeah.
expecting to pay like, was it 4 boxes per case?
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
so.
low. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm expecting to pay about 2 grand. Like I know it's gonna be a little more than 400, like maybe it's 450 a box, something like that. And he goes, they're 1,000 a box, 1,000 a box.
Yeah, dude, insane.
So and I was like, come on, dude. I was like, I'm in here all the time trying to buy something. Like, what is this? And I look online, everywhere is 1,000 a
Yep.
box. And I was like, how is it that Tops can sell it for 395 or whatever, pre-sale, pre-order, whatever. And then it's gonna be 1,000 on opening day. And also the biggest problem with this is that like Dave and Adams and Steel City and whoever I forget the name of one
Blowout cards.
Blowout, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are at all the trade shows and that. And like I understand they have a business and they have to make money, but how are we going from 400 to 1,000 on opening day? Like it's and I think what happened was, and I've heard that this can happen, is that if Top sees that the demand is going to be like through the roof, they'll just stop the pre-order early. So like they
Yeah.
say, okay, we're not going to actually release that much. And then it goes out and these guys get it and they mark it up to the moon. And they Tops likes having these really expensive products. I don't really understand why. I mean, like, because they're not making the 1,000 a box. They're making like, whatever they sell it at some discount, like 300 a box. But they like the prestige of it or something.
Right.
Like they want like
It's the
crazy
buzz.
expensive.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, there
but
was a ton. To their defense, there was a ton of buzz around that, and people still bought them up. I mean, I bought one. You bought one. There's still
there's still
people.
a lot of
They're
them
still
sitting on eBay
selling. Yeah,
for
they're
eight
selling
seventy
for the
five a
same
box.
price.
Like
Yeah.
people, I don't think they're selling that well though. And I think a lot of them, like people, I mean, listen, if it seems like a lot for me and I buy a lot of this stuff, it's got to seem monumental to most people.
Yes.
Like what 22-year-old kids walking around working at Subway or whatever they're doing is like, you know what? Today, $1,000 box of royalty. Like
Yeah.
that's not happening. This is
Nope.
for adults. Like it's just I don't like it. I don't like the cost. I hope that they do a better job with the release so it's more available and not as insane of a price next year. And maybe it's because it's the debut, people mark it up. I don't know. I thought the whole thing just felt kind of sloppy. Stadium Club
100%.
though, I'm really hopeful for Stadium Club because I know there's blasters, and I'm looking forward to opening like a sea of
Yeah,
blasters and
you're
seeing
gonna
what we
get
get.
16 cases and open them up on the show.
We did three, I think, of 2025 Chrome. 104. Yeah, we opened 120 boxes.
Yeah, dude, that's
So I,
crazy.
I want to do that. I don't
Oh,
know, but also,
you had a team opening on one video that I saw. You had
yeah,
like your buddies came over. You guys were just freaking dude. There was a sea of trash on the ground from all those packs.
it was bad. The but the thing was, we got a Kyoba Halio Superfractor out of that,
Hmm.
and a Manon Fioro to 8, and like there's like some good stuff in there. Bunch of smaller parallels, but that was my whole purpose, was like, if we open enough, we will get the big hit.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, if you open a case of hobby, you're gonna get some hit. Maybe a big one, but you get some hit. If we open enough blasters, we're gonna get the hit. And so I'm going to do it again with Stadium Club. I'm looking forward to it. And I think Stadium Club hobby boxes allegedly are going to be like $110 a box.
Yeah.
So bring it on. Like,
From everyone that I've heard that collects in other sports, Stadium Club is one of the cheaper. If you want to 110, it's all perspective, but one of the cheaper products, right, that you can get. And I love the more cheaper products because it lets people actually buy in and rip boxes. I mean, so many people, I'm sure you see these comments too. It's like, I'm priced out of buying this product. And like, it's sad. It's sad that people can't necessarily enjoy what they want and get the experience of ripping these products. So I liked Gold Label last year for that exact reason. And I thought actually Gold Label was a decent entry into the space. But this Stadium Club, man, I am really excited about that for the price point aspect, but also the photography and just the card design. And it's on-card autos. If you're telling me we're getting a product and you potentially could get two
I didn't know
on-card
that.
autos for 110, that's sick. Now, I don't know if all of them are on card, but I've seen multiple leaks that are on card. So that's really, really exciting to me.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that it's good because I'm the same way. Like, I want it to be cheap and accessible. And the cheaper and more accessible it is, the more I'll open. And like on the converse side, like royalty, that was a one and done for me. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it to see it. And I feel like I overpaid and this is all
Yep.
bad, but I'm going to do it anyways
Yeah.
once.
I felt
And
sick, dude. I that's the first time, and I almost felt sick buying that box because it was the exact same as you. I was expecting, okay, it's going to be maybe 500. I was like 500 is like a reasonable markup for them to make some money, and then I ended up paying eight. And he tried to give me a deal too. I think I paid like 830 or something with tax. It's like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's
yeah.
like double my car payment for the month. It's wild, man, how much they're charging for these. Also on royalty, before we get off that, I I think that they did not give a single royalty box to anyone that entered the drop. I've met no one. There was, and if you're watching this, please let me know. I have not met a single person. I entered. I know a lot of people that entered. Zero people have said they got a royalty box from Topps. I don't think they gave any of those out. That's conspiracy of the day right there for you.
Yeah. Well, dude, the whole thing with the system of like distribution is kind of weird. Like, it goes from Topps direct to consumers, but then also from Topps direct to the distributors, like the big name distributors.
Mhm.
And then from them, it goes also to like Dave and Adams and these other like retail level distributors. I just don't understand it, why so many people have to touch it before it gets out. Like, and also, if there's other industries where you just set the MSRP, so Tops could just be like, listen, guys, these boxes
Yeah.
go for $400 a box. If we catch you charging more than that, you don't get distribution. If you sell it for less than that, you don't get distribution. Like, this is just what it is. You're selling
Yeah.
it for 400.
It's like the car
And it'd
dealership
be,
type thing.
yeah,
They can just kind of
it's
do
not
whatever
that
they want.
complicated. It's not that complicated. I just don't understand why they don't just get a hold of it and make it so that it feels positive.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm completely with you, man. And I think, I guess, what can we do? Like, you voice your concerns. You try and tell, as the consumer, as the customer, you let them know how you feel. Maybe you speak with your wallet and you don't purchase or whatever. But that's kind of, our hands are kind of tied, and they're gonna do whatever they want at the end of the day. But and if they're making money, it makes sense, right? So I don't really know if they're ever gonna change their tactics
Unless,
anytime soon.
unless I buy Tops. Just saying.
He's the
Just
hero.
saying.
He's the hero we need. Glenn,
I don't know. I
aka
looked at
the
it. I
Dark
was
Knight.
actually looking at the how much did when Fanatics or whatever bought it, how much did it go for?
Dude, it was like in I think it was an insane price. I want to say it was well, I guess it Fanatics bought it was it like 500 million or something absolutely insane. It was like a
Yeah.
crazy
I
sale.
I had like 537 in my mind, but before that, I mean, I there's no public record of like how much profit they make or anything.
Yeah.
But I think before that it was valued way less. Or like what if you bought Panini and you got a license deal? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just like I still got some time on the clock. I'm gonna blow this channel up and then we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, man. Speaking of blowing up, who are some of the current roster of fighters, younger guys that you potentially like watching that you would maybe keep your eye on? Are there any favorite younger people that you like to watch in the UFC?
Dude, there's the most impressive guy. I actually looked this up last night, and I totally forgot the name. But it UFC Azerbaijan, Baku, I think they're calling it. There was a dude who fought Tagir Ulanbekov, and he fought his. I think his last name was Maxun or Maxum. That dude was the biggest sleeper on the card. He came out like Tagir Ulanbekov, and maybe you can pull it up,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm
I,
searching right now.
I don't think I'm making. I think I got it right, but
Azat
Ulanbekov,
Maxum.
yeah, Azmat Maxum, that dude is a monster. He's a monster. He fought Ulanbekov, and Ulanbekov's training with Khabib, and he's out in
Right.
Dagestan and doing all the things. And he was like out wrestling Ulanbekov, and the only problem was that I think he took that on a little bit short notice,
Mm,
and he's a little bit small.
mm.
But if he can get to like maybe a one weight class lower, or also just not fight like a Khabib disciple, I think that dude is
Yeah.
well on his way. Like he shocked me how good he was. I was jumping up and down like cheering for him. I'd never seen him before, and I was just like, it was this huge dog upset. And like
Right.
he didn't win the fight, but he didn't lose the fight either.
Nice. He's fighting Mitch Raposo, who was on the Ultimate Fighter. I think it was the season with Connor and Chandler. I want to say he was on the up and coming team. He's a decent prospect as well, so that'll be a good fight that he has coming up. Let's see, when are they fighting? Oh, this weekend. Nice. Hey, your boy's fighting this weekend, man. That'll be
Is it
fun.
really?
Got to check that out. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That was total
Let
luck.
me
But
see. Let
dude,
me see
he
what
was awesome.
he might be on the. He's probably on the prelims. Let's see.
He didn't look like a prelim fighter to me, but
Yeah, he's on the prelims. Fighting Raposo. He's second up, so that'll be a fun. Get in there early and you can watch him.
I'll be watching. But honestly, check him out because he's awesome. I was just shocked by how good he was. Like he was so like well rounded and flushed out. And to fight a guy like Tagir Ulanbekov for your debut, and then to fight Mitch Raposo on the prelims, like it's a total night and day difference. Like I
Yeah,
expect
that's
that dude
fair.
to go in and just smash, and like he'll probably win by decision because they're light, they're 125ers. But I bet he'll win like a one sided decision.
Nice. I love it,
That's
man.
my prediction. Also, Cheppy Mariscal, the machine
Oh
gun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that guy. He's a dog. That guy, every time they put him in a fight where he's an underdog, and they're like, "You're gonna lose today, Cheppy. Just get in there and lose." He goes in there and just does whatever he has to do to beat somebody down. Like he's like a backyard bully. He will beat you up and fight you. He's not always technical. He's not like I don't know what he's doing in there half the time, but he's just mean and he'll get after it.
He's bringing the damage, man. Some of these guys, and I'm a big Yuri fanboy on the channel. He's one of those guys where like some of these guys, people fight and it's kind of technical, and I love that too. I'm a Leon Edwards fanboy too, and he's kind of one of those guys. Some of these guys fight and they actually fight. They're looking to make it bloody. Sounds like Cheppy Mariscal is one of those guys. So that's always fun and entertaining. And those are also the guys where if they can get a few wins, man, the popularity drives a lot of collectability and sales, and like those are also really fun people to collect because whenever they have a viral fight or a viral KO, it's really fun to look at their card pricing and
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like him a lot just because he's mean. Ultimately at the higher level, that will get countered by like clean technique and like countering whatever you're strong at. If you're
Yep.
strong at like offensive, striking, or if it's grappling, like the highest level guys will figure it out and do it. But uh, up until like the top five, you can go pretty deep with just being a mean dude who's not
Yeah.
afraid to fight. And Steve Garcia is another guy like that.
Yeah.
He's like a big dude, and he kind of came out of nowhere. Like he just kept winning fights and racking them up, and he's similar. He's in there to hurt you, and he wants to win. So those are the kind of guys I've been watching.
Glenn, it's been over an hour, man. Thank you so much for
Is
coming
it
on to
really?
the channel today. Yeah, yeah. Time
Next
flew by.
time, next time, let's do it live with some Miller Lights, and we can hang out somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. If you're ever in the area, I'll let you know where I'm at, and if you're traveling for business or whatever, and I'm off, we could hang out and chill a little bit. But thank you so much for
Sure.
coming on the show, man. I'll hit you up again, and we can get something. We got something cooking for you guys in the works. So you'll be seeing Glenn again here within the calendar year for sure. We're gonna get a schedule kind of dialed in and talk about some details. But thanks again for coming on, man. Anything you want to plug before you head out?
Dude, I think you should just show off that Khabib you've got up there. You got that nice Khabib, the first auto. I think that thing should just be and every episode, just hold it up
Yeah.
there, like ready to
Yeah,
go.
just I got him flashed in the little intro graphic I do. I always show
Oh
the
yeah,
I
yeah,
show
I've
the
seen it. I
John
see
101 and then I show the Habib. I'm like I gotta show these subliminally. People gotta know that these cards are legit, dude. That they're legit. Do you have one of these? Do you have a first auto? What are you doing, Glenn? You got a
it, dude.
nasty first auto, dude.
The problem I had, I thought about buying one that was, I think it was numbered to 15.
Yeah.
And so I was looking, and I was like, I don't know. It's like, where's the 101? And I was kind of like back and forth. I ended up just not doing anything. And as far as I know, there's none for sale on eBay right now.
Yeah, they're
And I
tough,
don't
man.
know anyone who's like just sitting on one. So I just got to kind of keep my eyes out, and I'll get one. But, it's getting harder to get some of the old ones. And I think
Yes.
people are keeping more and more. So it's
Mhm.
going to get tougher over time. But I'm having fun doing it, man. I'm going to just keep buying them. One day they're going to find me like dead and gone, and just stacks of PSA
Yeah.
10 Khabibs all over.
You're like in the Egypt, they would put the king or whatever with like his most prized
Yeah,
possessions. You just have all
I
those
was seeing more like the
Khabibs.
Goonies, like a wet cave with like just slabs everywhere.
Nice. All right, man. Thank you for coming on, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks everybody. See you guys.
See you guys.